It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I am going to be checking out the game called Deadline, the hard-boiled mystery game of crime and murder, it says right there. And in this one, all the players are going to be cooperating to solve a murder, a crime. You are going to be pooling your resources, you are going to be following leads, talking to the right people, putting together what happened so you can figure out this whodunit, all right? Let me show you how this works. We'll come on back after that. I'll tell you what I thought of it, if I think it's an effective game at both telling you a good story, wrapping you up in its theme and setting, and if it's mechanically robust. Here we go. So here's everything that comes in the game. You are going to have the start player shield. You have these cards for the players called lead cards. And there's a few bad cards in there as well. You have all the cases here. There are 12 different ones. And each one is going to be playable by the same players just once. Because once you've played it, you'll know the answers to the case you're attempting to solve. So you've got 12 of those. You've got some cheat sheets. You've got character cards for the players. These bullet tokens that you'll be spending, getting rid of rather, as bad things happen. And then these hot tips that are shaped like matches, and you'll flip these over to gain them, and then flip them back down as they are spent throughout the game. Besides that, you have the case book here that you'll read a little intro at the beginning of your game. And you've got the case questions you'll read at the end of your play. You'll answer those questions and then check if you were right in the solution book. And then you'll go back to the case book here and read sort of a little epilogue, if you would, okay? So that's basically what you're getting. I'm going to set this up and show you just a little bit of how the game flows without giving you any spoilers. So I'll make sure not to flip these cards over as I'm showing them to you so that you can discover them for yourself when you play the game. So at this point, the game is set up, ready to begin. We've read the introduction to the case, which tells us what's going on, what crime has been committed, and which starting locations are available for us to visit and investigate. And each one is going to have a prerequisite set of clues, things we need to gather in order to visit that card, flip it over, and read what happened there, what we find out. And we will just keep track of that information and see if we can answer those questions at the end of the game. So I'll be the start investigator over here, and the players can now discuss how they're feeling about these places and which one they want to go to. So let's say we want to go to the Candle Cafe. So we'll pick that one there, and me being the lead investigator, I will play a card to begin gathering the things we need to attempt to break into this place, basically, to see if we can find out what it is we need to find out. So I can play a card from my hand. Every card is going to have different symbols across the bottom, possibly blank spots, as well as possibly giving us some of these hot tips. In this case, if I play this card, I've started this line of symbols and I've got the hot tip that's colored in blue, this one here. So we'll flip that one face up, and then it's the next player's turn. This is not your only option when it is your turn. You can also spend some hot tips for differing effects, and you can also use your power flipping your card face down so that we know you've used it already, or turning it sideways, something like that. The hot tips themselves, you can spend 2 of them to draw a card. You can spend 3 of them to get rid of a plot twist. I'll talk about that in just 1 second. Or you could spend all 4 of them, assuming they're all flipped up and ready, to get rid of 2 plot twists. So it is now this player's turn right here, and they are going to play to the story as well. So we are looking for the cigarettes, a shot glass, and 2 of these cash symbols. And so this player is going to play. When you play, you must match a symbol if you are covering that symbol up. So for example, let's see if this player can help me illustrate this. This player could play here because I'm covering up a shot glass with another shot glass. That's perfectly fine. Or you could play and cover up a blank with anything and it's like this player is about to do. So I'm going to play this card on top of this one. The blank is going to go on the shot glass, and the cigarettes will go on the blank. That's also okay. So I'll play that there. This would give me the blue clue as well, but we already have that hot tip. And I'm now a little bit closer to figuring this out. All we would need as a group is the other money symbol, and we're there. So this player puts their hand back down, and then it is this player's go, Gilda here. She's going to take a look at what she's got, and it looks like she could do this here. Play shot glass on shot glass, and that gives us everything we need. The money, the cigarettes, the shot glass, and we've got it. At that point, we would flip this over again and read what's going on. It might bring some new clues into the game as well from the ones that have been set aside. And that's basically it. However, every now and then, you're not going to be able to play a card or use your power or use some hot tips, or you might not want to. At that point, you would drop out of this, of the gathering of clues, of the lead cards. And so let's say we're back to here, and this player does not, in fact, have a card they can play. They do not wish to trigger their power, so on. They're going to drop out. If you drop out and you are holding one of these bad plot twist cards, well, you have to play it in front of you. You discard the rest of your hand, and from now on, you are going to have some sort of effect that affects either you or everyone, even when you have already dropped out. So in this case, this is an everyone, and it says that each clue requires an additional gun symbol. So every time we're trying to gather enough clues to, enough of these lead cards to get in here, while this is on the table, we need a gun as well, on top of whatever is there. And that's what the hot tips are for, to get rid of these things off of the table. Or at least that's one of the things you can do with them, okay? So that's basically how this is going to work. Everybody can have at most 2 of these plot twists, so it's not all bad, but it's pretty bad. If we fail to complete this, meaning everyone has dropped out, we simply did not have the right things, we're going to get rid of one of these bullets from the game. And once we've done this enough, if we've gotten rid of all 3, well then at that point, we get rid of the highest numbered clue still in the game. Even if it's not available to us yet, from the set aside ones, you get rid of the highest number. This continues, and the game will be over either when all the clues have been removed from the game, or we've discovered all the ones that are available. At that point, we're going to check the book that tells us what the questions are. We'll see if we as a group know those questions. Then we'll check the solution and see how we did. All right, so there it is. Before I break this down using my target audience system, I do want to tell you right away, I am a fan of this game. I enjoy it very much. Here we go. Thematic ties. Oh, fantastic. I love this hard-boiled detective stuff, the film noir kind of setting, right? It is very good, and it is evocative. It is through and through in this game. The aesthetics of the game, which also includes not just the look, but the quality of the components, very nice. Everything is, quality-wise, pretty good, right? The cards are not linen finished. Cardboard tokens are cardboard tokens. That's okay. But everything is very functional. It's good stuff. And then the look of everything really ties together well. I love the iconography in the game. It's clean. It's straightforward. I like the look. To me, it just looks like it's got that novel from the 50s kind of thing going on. I love the package here. Everything just comes together very well. The replayability and the scalability. I think the game scales well. I like to play it with 2 or 3 the best, but it scales up from there. And then the replayability, of course, is the big one here. There are 12 cases in here. You will play this game 12 times until when and if they come up with an expansion, then you can play some more, assuming they give us new cases. Is that a problem? That depends on your whole philosophy of these consumable games. Now, you don't destroy this game. I do want to mention that. As you are playing, you don't have to rip any cards up like you do in some legacy-style games. You are simply discovering things. And once you've played ones that say, case number 6, once you've played case number 6, you can play again. Doesn't mean other people can't play, but you yourself will know the answer now, right? I don't think that's a problem. I don't think I'm going to be going through this one quickly enough to be problematic. and I really enjoy the reward I get back. And 12 is a lot. A lot of work went into this, so I don't think it's bad. Replayability is, let's say, limited, not bad. The game length is perhaps a touch long, just a little bit, right? Like maybe 10 minutes shorter would have been the sweet spot, but it did not outstay its welcome enough for me to find fault in that. And if you have a group that engages in the discussion of the clues, as you discover things, you go, oh yeah, that's what so-and-so said. I don't know, that sounds kind of fishy. We should visit so-and-so and find out if they back that story up. If you get into that, it'll make the time really go by, The ease of play, which is fitliness, if there's any weird design choices, things like that. I'll tell you, I like I've found in the past games that do this whole discover what happened thing, but usually those games are mechanically a little loosey-goosey, right? They're not real tight. And then there's the games that are based on a story, but it's really mechanisms, and the story is just a setting. There is no evolving storyline. This manages to do both well. So the ease of play is there. It is an easy game to teach. It is an easy game to play. But there's a story to back it up. There are things you discover. You will engross yourself in the events that are happening, the characters. There's even some recurring characters from case to case. And that's pretty cool, it gives you an even greater sort of sense of immersion into this setting, this world. So I think the ease of play and the design choices are on point in this one. And then lastly, tactics and strategy, and of course luck. I think the game is well made and has a good amount of reacting to what's going on. Picking which clue you follow up on is nice, because everybody can you can't outright say what you're holding, and there are rules in the rule book for that, of how much you can sort of share. But it does feel like everyone working together, coming together, deciding what to do when. So the tactics are there, the strategy is there, and of course there is luck. It's a card game, but not so much that you feel punished without, for no reason. I think there are things you can do to prepare for that, especially, being smart with the utilization of those hot tips. So, overall, I have to say I really, really like this game. I hope that they are coming out with more cases, that they come out with more stuff for it, because I think this is the kind of game that could have the legs to support that, because mechanically, it is so clever and clean. In many ways, it reminds me of The Grizzled, a cooperative game as well, and in the card play, basis of this, feels like The Grizzled, but this has that layer of story and mystery and deduction-ish on top of that, right? Figuring out the whodunit. And I think those two mesh together really well in Deadline. Overall, as I said, I really like this. Is going to get very much a seal of excellence from me. And I think if you enjoy this genre and you like co-op games, this is a no-brainer. Go pick this one up, everybody. Deadline.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.